Hi, I'm Randy Hollenbeck, and this is the Music Roundtable. Today on the show, we have emo rock band Morning in May.
Woo! Woo!
I just want to start out. Could we go around the room and just introduce yourselves and what instrument you play?
I am Jake and I play vocals.
I'm Scott Molina. I play guitar.
Andrew, I do drums.
I just wanted to dig into a little history. Jake, what sparked your interest in music?
Women. When I was 13, I skated and that did the job. But I was like, you know what? If I skated and played guitar, I'd probably get twice as many women. And it didn't happen, and it wasn't true. But I did learn a different lifestyle, and now it's too late to stop. So
You know what's funny is that I skated and played too, and I focused on playing because I realized I was absolutely terrible at skateboarding. So I was like, well, playing guitar it is.
I I got sponsored. I was pretty good. I got sponsored, and I did all this like the starey stuff, and I got asked to do competitions, and
Wow. So basically, what you're saying is you think you're better than me.
I don't think that, Scott.
Andrew, what got you into playing drums?
My stepfather played drums and just always grew up around music. And the first Slipknot album got me playing drums.
Oh, dude, that album is like one of the greatest metal albums of all time, if not the greatest. Yeah, that is their best record to this day.
Changed my life. Yeah.
Scott, what got you into music?
Yeah, same pretty much, man. Just, I mean, my stepdad was super into music. I got into Nirvana, like when I was really little, and like I wanted to be Kurt Cobain. You know, it was really just like I don't want to be like Kurt Cobain. I want to be Kurt. How do I be him? Like, yeah, yeah. So that was like my earliest influence and I'm talking when I was little, man. When I was really young. So yeah, that was it for me, man. That's when I knew that's what I wanted to do.
And that's why me and the boys get go along together so well. Hi, my dog's here. Sorry, I was talking, and then he bumped my leg, and I got nervous. So I got into Nirvana actually. That was my first like love, and then that actually transferred me into Slipknot, and then the rest goes from there. So that's kind of cool.
Okay. How did Morning in May form?
Oh God. Um. Uh. So when I was in 10th grade, I quit the band that I was in because they wanted to do like the political, like punk rock, like yell and stuff, and everybody needs to know what we think. And I was like, I just want to have fun. Um, and I wanted to do like another message kind of thing. I didn't want to yell that I hate the government and all that stuff. So I started Morning in May acoustic by myself, and I would go like play. Um, I would go play like downtown Cleveland when I was like 14, 15 at like 1, 2 in the morning at like open mic nights. at like jazz clubs that nobody wanted to see me play at. And uh, yeah, I just kind of found members, and then we started doing this and that, and then that kind of built up to what we have now.
Okay. Scott, how did you join Morning in May? Was there like an audition or did they reach out to you? How did that go about?
No, it's a funny story, man. So like I knew the guys from like playing in a Light Divided, and like we played many shows with them, in different spots around the country, so we already knew each other. We were already friends, and like we're super cool. And like one day, I live in Nashville, and one day, and I knew them as like a Cleveland band, you know what I mean? So like one day I go into Guitar Center in Nashville, and like there's Jake, and I'm like, what are you doing here, dude? Like, cool to see you. And he's like, oh yeah, I moved here. So then it literally just spiraled into that where like him and I was like, well, come over, dude. Let's write a song, and then literally just spiraled into like, dude, we have to play together. Like,
We had the same manager back in the day, and then we just ended up meeting each other like all over the country. Like we would see each other in like LA and then like Florida and stuff, and then Nashville. And um, I moved out. Yeah, I Scott was one of the guys that I knew out in Nashville, and I was like, hey, let's go like write and stuff. And I was like writing like country stuff, and we were just kind of like messing around, and then it kind of just was like, oh, now you have to do this. So.
yeah. And it's funny too. The first time I ever met these guys was in LA, and it was at NAM, and it was like the NAM after party, and it was like a bunch of different bands, like tons of bands, and like these fucking guys got kicked out. And I was like, everyone in the like divided group, I was like, who are these fucking guys that get kicked out of this fucking after party? How do you get kicked out of an after party? That's cool as fuck. Like,
So Ice-T was there, like Body Count was there and stuff. So we we thought it would be cool because Andrew and I we like attention desperately. So we were taking like our manager. We have this like we're endorsed by Spirit Airlines, so we can fly around wherever, whenever. So his management team got a lot of his bands. Um, to LA, and we were all together at the Schechter party, and he wanted to take a picture, and there was a lot of people, so Andrew and I were like, oh, let's climb this like pillar tower support beam thing, and just to get a better view so like we could actually be in the picture instead of just in the group. And Andrew went too high, and he was super drunk at the time, and he did the like sideways flagpole hold thing, and so he's completely not in the photo. The photo exists. I'm in it because I know depth perception and where the camera was probably going to be. Andrew was way above me, probably 35 feet up in the air. I was around like the 20-foot mark, so I was all head to toe in the video or in the photo. And after we took the photo, we climbed down, and Andrew's like, "No, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I'm." He's like, "Look, Mom, I'm a flag." And so, right, they did, and that it was so funny because I wasn't drunk. I don't drink or anything, so I got down, and they were totally nice to me. They're like, you guys know you're out of here, right? And I said, yeah, that's fine. I figured. And then they grabbed Andrew, and they're like, let's go, come on. And I was like, oh shoot, I didn't get that at all. And then they were like, you guys have to leave. And then this one girl was like, this is my place of work. I'm like, relax, dude. You don't work at the Church of Children and Religion, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't do anything that bad. Like,
This is a Christmas party for children. Like, no, man.
that was hilarious. I was like, who the fuck is this band? Like,
And that's when we met Scott.
yeah, that was literally the first time I met them. Yeah, I was. Yep, it's funny. Both of our bands were on tour at the same time, and we ended up together in LA at the Check after party. Yeah, good time.
it was.
How did you come up with the band name?
Beautiful question. So Morning in May is a song title from a 2004 EP by Ludo. Ludo is a band that they do all this like crazy. They're just really funny and quirky and stuff. But way back in the day, in like 2003 or four, they came out with this rock opera EP. called the Broken Bride EP, and the whole storyline just kind of blew me away, especially when I was trying to find my footing in music and figure out what I wanted to do and what I wanted to sound like and who I wanted to be. So a lot of the elements that they use, we use in our stuff, except ours is like more like confident, still quirky and funny, but more in your face about things. They were more trying to be like just dorks in love kind of deal. So, very long story short, the protagonist in the Broken Bride EP, he finds his wife dies in a car accident, and then he finds a time machine, and the whole premise is trying to get back to that morning in May to save her, and he can't no matter what he does. So he goes back in time to like dinosaur times, and he like shoots back and goes to like apocalyptic times with like zombies and all this stuff. So he just keeps jumping timelines, and then he finally gets back to that morning in May to save her, and he can't do anything about it. So at the end of the EP, he just gets in the car with her, and they both die. And I was like, wow, that's what love is. So,
Awesome. That was awesome.
yeah, I don't know. That was cool. So that stamped me as a 14, 15-year-old man, boy, child guy.
Okay. You guys recently signed with Ghost Killer Entertainment. You want to tell us about that a little bit?
We did. I absolutely would. So it's very weird. Our signings are always uh, never what we think they're gonna be. Uh, it's kind of cryptic. I'm sorry. You can There'll be a teaser and a trailer to this. Uh, so so we were on We Are Triumphant. That was our third signing, and We Are Triumphant was working with Ghost Killer, and they always kind of wanted us to do something with each other back and forth. So I finally we had all this stuff coming up, and I had a big release plan and all of these things that we needed to release and come out with. So I talked to We Are Triumphant, and then they were like, maybe we should just they're I didn't even ask, but they're going through something or something was happening. So they kind of just handed us off to Ghost Killer, and Ghost Killer wanted us for a long time. We were just on this label or that label, and it finally all came together. Zach from Ghost Killer is really cool. He works with our publicist and has worked with our publicist a lot. So it kind of just all fit when and how it needed to, which is pretty cool.
And what do they do for you as far as like services and stuff? What do they offer you?
So they're a huge like publicity platform. They're really good with like YouTube and Instagram, Facebook. I think like TikTok they're getting on. But they just what other indie labels do they help with. They finance some things. It just all depends, and every band's different. So the bigger you are, the more they do kind of or they can.
They're relatively new. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Jake, but they are relatively new in the label space. But they've existed as like a publicity marketing company for a while, and they've had a lot of success doing that. And they have, yeah.
Yeah, they're a big like PR company turned label recently, which is really cool. That's kind of all we really wanted out of a label because we kind of do everything ourselves. But we just, yeah, I mean, PR is amazing, and more PR is even more amazing.
So they do provide us with distro like a label would, some of the other services that a label would, but really the exciting part of them is just what they can do from a publicity standpoint.
Okay. I wanted to dive in a couple songs. You guys just released Pink Pony Club, and today was actually the first time I listened to the original of the song. And because my daughter was like in the car and I was jamming out to you guys this weekend, and she was like, when I was listening to it, she was like, they copied that song.
What do you mean? We wrote that song.
She's only like 12, and I'm like, oh, okay, so she knows it, but I don't know the song yet, so I should like sit down and listen to it. And I'm like, whoa, they took this in a whole different direction and stuff. And I just wanted to ask you what your approach was to rearranging it. How did you think up how you were going to rock it out?
We have a formula when we do covers. A female always has to sing it. It's just more comfortable in my range, and it has to be a song that really like captures me and like really attaches to my body. Like um, every once in a while, I'll hear a song that just kind of gets it and gets me, and it's always a different genre. Like the last one before that was like a country song, and the last one before that was like a like pop dance song, whatever. So it's always different. So this one caught me, and um, I just had that weird feeling of like, hey, this is like right time, right place. Like this is the song. It's kind of like given. I feel like the whole whatever. I'm super university kind of guy, but I feel like it was like, hey, you need to do this song. This is what you need. And we always are. We're super loud and energetic, um, and we always want to look really cool, and we try to figure that out in song form. So we kind of figured out the key. Scott and I, we were like, okay, let's do it in this, and we were trying to figure out like what the timing should be and like how heavy we want the guitars. But like our band in general is if pop goes punk was a band. So it was kind of just easy to do. We've been doing it so long that there's just like key elements. If somebody does this, that means we do this. So we have like a little rubric when we write songs and how we do things. Scott?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll second most of that. Yeah, that it was a very easy process. That was Jake and I had already been like working together for a little bit when we decided to do the cover, and so it came together super quick and easy. We did the initial demo of the arrangement and whatnot, literally where I'm sitting right now, and we're like, okay, this is actually pretty good, and this could actually be pretty cool, and like,
We demoed out songs, like Andrew and I would demo out a song, and we were just trying to see like what works and like what sounds good and something that we couldn't like live without or something that will catch ourselves like odd times singing. And we did that. That song worked out. We went into the studio to record it, and literally, like, I was so nervous. Like 20 minutes in, we're like, "Oh no!" And then 40 minutes in, we were like, "Oh, this is gonna be super cool." So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. And the recording process was a breeze too.
oh yeah, we did that whole song in like 6 hours, 6 or 7 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, start to finish, 6 7 hours and done. Like walked out of there with finished product. It was super super easy, man.
Yeah, we said, Johnny, we need this on our desk by Monday, and he said, I can't do that. And we're like, do it or you're fired. And he goes, ah,
Johnny Lucas is the producer of the track.
yes. Shout out Johnny Lucas.
You wanted me to stay, but I can't ignore the crazy visions of me in LA. And I heard that there's a special place where boys and girls can all be queens every single day. I'm having wicked dreams of leaving Tennessee, Santa Monica. I swear it's calling me. Won't make my mama proud. It's gonna cause a scene. She sees her baby girl. I know she's gonna scream. God, what have you done? You're a big booty girl, and you dance at the club, oh mama. I'm just having fun on the stage in my heels. It's where I belong down at the big booty club. I'm gonna keep on dancing at the big booty club. I'm gonna keep on dancing down in West Hollywood. I'm gonna keep on dancing at the
The other song I want to talk about is "Laughter on Death Row," and That's, like, awesome. It, like, kicks in real hard at the beginning. It's like one of those type of, like, workout songs, kinda like that, you know? And the video, you have, like, all kinds of neon everywhere.
That was all Andrew's idea.
Yeah, that's kind of what we run. Like our stage show is a lot. Our instruments are glowing. We have a bunch of. It's just an eye catcher. It's something different. You don't see a lot. Sets us apart from a lot of bands.
There's two things that we lived by when we were growing up: skating rinks and laser tag. And we said, let's do that.
Yeah, it's just a unique thing. You don't see a lot.
Yeah, it's super cool. Like live stage, that's pretty much for the most part what it looks like. We just wanted to. Andrew actually brought up a good point when we did that video because we're always like, I always want to do over the top, like, this is going to cost us so much money. And he's like, we should do something that like represents the band more because it's getting like different and changing and stuff. And I was like, well, we should do this huge like Michael Bay production. And he goes, how about not? How about we just show us playing and stuff? And I was like, yeah, I guess we could do that. So we did, and it turned out pretty cool. And the music video is sweet because all those newspapers were actual like criminal cutout things from like cities around where we're from, like Akron, Ohio, and Medina and stuff like that, like Cleveland, whatever. But if you can't really look closely, but if you did, it's about like, oh, like missing people and like murders and stuff like that. And we're like, oh, this is crazy. We didn't know that when we were putting the newspaper up, and then I started seeing stuff like that, and I was like, oh.
Bunch of string connecting tacks and solving mysteries.
But that was actually one of my favorite. That was one of my favorite music videos we did, and one of my favorite songs we've ever written.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good. It has a cool feel. The bridge with that cowbell. It was just very different than anything we've ever done.
When we were writing the bridge, we were kind of making fun of Motley Crue, and then Andrew was like, "We should do a cowbell here," and we're like, "That's stupid." Yeah, for sure, let's do it. And we did it, and it sounded so off, but it fits so well, and it kind of makes you laugh, and it's kind of just adds like to the craziness of the song, and I like it.
It's very 80s, same old situation, like bridge.
Set to death, yeah.
And at the beginning is you guys jump into a van and they gas you.
Yeah, so that's a cameo by my brother. Um, that's my brother. Um, but yeah, we thought it'd be funny if we got what are you doing, bud? Come, I have a pit bull and he cries all the time. Come here. The du the duality of life. Um,
Yeah, we were looking for ways to jump into the video, like what the concept was going to be, and
there always right. There always needs to be a call to action and come here. Oh, okay. There he is. Hello. Okay. Get out of here. Um, we always need a call to action for like any video. It's just good storytelling. So again, we were like throwing around like the Motley Crue thing, and I was like, we should just get kidnapped. Like, how weird would that be? Because it kind of goes with the concept of the song. The Laughter on Death Row is literally about uh, loving somebody so much that you kind of want to control them and like possess them. I guess it's just I talk to my girlfriend about this all the time. Like, I don't know how to write love songs, but I do understand like the that's my that's my form of love, I guess.
Everybody wears a different face, but when I
I'm sure each of you will have a different answer for this one. If you could change one thing about the music industry, what would you change?
Oh God, just one?
Oh, the people listening to the music. um, I will let you guys go first. I feel like I've been hogging a lot.
No, you're good. God, that is a deep question too, and that's actually that's a good question. It's hard to answer too because you know I work in the industry, and it's like God, there's so much that I would change. Like that's a loaded question. Andrew, you want to go first? Do you have an answer to that?
I guess what I would change if I could right now is probably the genre, what makes up the popular music today. Like I would love to be in an era where rock was still at the top of the genre list. That top 40 is a lot of rock, but we're not there right now. But I would love to see that swing back.
Yeah, I second that, man. We were born in the wrong decade, fellas.
I would change the accessibility. Um, I, I'm kind of. I think we're on the downswing of. I personally, this is gonna sound weird, but I wish bands were less accessible. We didn't know anything about them because it just kind of adds to the mystique. That's when you got like superstars back in the day. Like I don't I don't want to see those people in certain like settings and stuff. I don't want to see what you had for breakfast. I don't care that you're walking your dog. I don't care about any of the stuff like that. There needs to be a separation again. And I know everybody wants to be friends and all that stuff and whatever, but I'm not. I think it needs to be like different. There needs to be some mystique, and not everybody needs to know every single thing that exists about everybody. I think there needs to be some separation and some professionalism, I guess, again.
It's just tough because social media runs everything. Like you have to be involved in the social media to be a player in the industry, unfortunately.
Yeah, I tell the guys all the time if like Michael Jackson was coming up or if like Prince was coming up right now, they would not be on TikTok doing dances and trying to get their songs out. They would be professional, respected, whatever musicians.
And they probably would never get discovered as a result.
Yeah, yeah, the industry changed. Yeah,
They wouldn't. No, they would be buried unless they have a super, yeah, that's what I'm saying, the accessibility, like everybody can make music now and it doesn't, you don't really need to know how to do anything. You literally just need to be able to download software and pull and grab samples or anything like that. And it's more, and it's not really like I also know that that always comes out kind of lazy, like, oh, I don't want to be like a social media guru or something like that. But like, we're definitely no strangers to work. It's just what we signed up for back in the day, what we wanted it to be. It's a lot different now, and now we have to do all of this other stuff. It's like going to school to be like a doctor, but also you have to do culinary, like 4 years of culinary for whatever reason. You never thought for a second that you needed to do any of that. Why would you, you know?
Yeah, no, and you said it best, Jake. That like none of us mind doing like the social media work. We don't mind it, but that's not why we fucking do this. You know what I mean? Like we all wanted to be like artists and musicians and songwriters. We didn't want to like be influencers on TikTok. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to spend my time doing that.
Right. If you insert name here, you wouldn't see Kurt Cobain, you wouldn't see M Shadows, you're not going to see Corey Taylor, you're not going to see like any any of these people like just doing dances and like doing like what they do it now because they already made it and stuff and they don't need to prove anything and now they're trying to just be quirky and fill in the times, you know, just trying to see they're still even trying to be relevant.
Yeah, and I'll give one just slight different answer, even though I agree with all of those. But I think that the one thing that I would change is, and I know this probably sounds crazy or controversial, but streaming, like to go back to an era of just straight album sales.
I almost said that too, Scott. I know. It's just it was inevitable.
Yeah, it sounds crazy as an artist because it's like, okay, well, streaming negated temporarily anyway, negated the monopoly that record labels had on the business, right? All of a sudden, like anybody could just upload their music and the world could hear it, but it flooded the marketplace with artists. You know what I mean? Like now, yeah, there's no more gatekeeping, and that's almost a bad thing.
It was good at first because back during MySpace, if any band was relatively good, if you uploaded your own music, you got somewhere, you got a following. And I literally saw an interview earlier with Buddy Nielsen. He said like the whole scene in like Jersey like 10, 15 years ago, it almost had nothing to do with the bands. It You just couldn't do anything or go anywhere. So you would go to shows and it really, like he was saying, it had nothing to do with the bands. It was just the atmosphere around, and it was input band here. And that just ended up being like Census Fail and My Chemical Romance, Take You Back Sunday and all that stuff. They were just in the back, playing. And that's how you kind of found anything or listened to other music that wasn't on the radio. But now, I mean, now you can do whatever. Yeah. And it's hard to go back to that or see what that is. And that's why there's not a lot of scenes anymore. There's not like a lot of like music scenes. Like we're from Cleveland and it's all like hardcore and metalcore and stuff like that. That's where we come from.
But even then, there's no following with the scenes, you know?
Right. It doesn't leave Cleveland, and it's just this little ball, and as soon as you get like big or you start like doing anything like that, then you're like cast out.
Yeah, you're not there anymore anyway. Yeah. It's very niche.
Yeah, that's not just true of the Cleveland scene either. That's all over.
Right. So the bands are good, and I always like my dad always said like it's like the college thing. So that's why we got super good, because we always, and you're not supposed to compare yourself to other people, but we do all the time. And we're like, oh, they're better than us. We have to like, how are we going to be? And like competition just makes you better in any vein that you're in. So we would always be like, oh no, like when we tour, like everywhere we play, we're going to be outplayed by everybody else. So that was our mentality. So now when we go like play and tour and go play all these, we like kill it, and like textbook, like we watch back all of our shows, and we're literally like we're students of our own craft. Like we sit down and go, oh, this sucks. That wasn't good. We missed this note. You messed up here. We could have did this here.
We take a sports mentality to it, like literally.
Right. Like, oh, this is a dead part in the set, or oh, and we do that every night, every hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shows. We have footage from everything, like a highlight reel, and we just watch back and go, oh, we like, and then we also go, oh, this is good. Like your boys, like whenever we're watching it, like Andrew will be like, oh, that was cool. I like when you hit that note, or that was cool on guitar, and we just kind of go back and forth, and we give each other notes as well. But that's how we do it, and that's why we've climbed and scraped and all that stuff. But there's no once you get out, once you do all that stuff, like everybody kind of just pushes you out. There's but like Scott was saying, like kind of anywhere there's a group, and you hear about like 6, 7, maybe 10 bands are really good, but you've never heard of them unless you're there in that spot. But it's weird. Music's weird now.
As a musician, what does the future of the music industry look like to you in like 5 years down the road? Like with everyone like kind of like doing like the studio work in house, and you could upload your music on your own. Do you see some different industries like shutting down, like maybe a label or the studio, or what do you see?
I have an answer for that. It's actually going to be beautiful. We're going to have really, really well crafted, not good music. That's how I'm going to put it. Um, we're going to have a lot of highly processed, well produced, not well written songs because uh, we have all the plugins and whatever to make anything sound good. AI can fix whatever. But if you don't have other people saying, hey, this isn't good or you should do this, if nobody's ever learning and everybody's just doing it themselves, it's never going to be better than yourself. So so I think in a way, because I hear large artists that like we you try not to like we give respect where it is, but I also tear. I mean, I tear my own band apart, but I tear other people's songs apart just because we do that, and that's so like Andrew will send me something that he loves, like, oh, this sounds really good, and then he wants to know like truly as a songwriter like what I think about it, and then it'll sound great, but it'll be so dead, empty, lifeless, just words on a page, to me at least. And I think that's exactly where music will be. I think it'll be really well, no, just computer generated insert song. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I second that. Also, we are already in a world where pretty much studios are a dead thing. I mean, most studios are like it's a producer that you're working with, and you're just working in his house or something. That's kind of the norm today. There is no real actual studio space anymore. That's very much a dead thing. But to answer your question, more crazy and further out in the future is AI is just going to completely take over this business. I mean, it is only a matter of time before. I mean, I don't even have it. I don't know how to answer that yet when it comes to AI because the industry is scrambling to figure out AI and how to regulate what to do with it. Like, there are literally, I mean, you could literally put in ChatGPT right now and say, like, give me, we were talking about Slipknot earlier. Give me a new Slipknot song that sounds like the first album with the lyrics, Morning in May is the greatest band ever. And then you will literally get a Slipknot. It sounds exactly like Slipknot from their first album, and the lyrics are Morning in May is the greatest band ever. And record labels are trying to figure out how to prevent that stuff from getting online, because Slipknot's label, that gets online, and Slipknot's like, what? We didn't release this, but this is copyrighted material. This is our material. This is a Slipknot song, essentially. It's like, how do you deal with that, and what do you do? Like,
I think we got a little piece of that as far as like the graphic design aspect. I think it was introduced, AI was like, oh, here, like bands started using AI to make their stuff, but you can tell that it's AI, and people just started to turn away from it because if it's too perfect, we're still not going to like it. That's just kind of how we're programmed. But if it's too perfect, we're going to go, it's okay, but right, right. But I think that's kind of where it's going to be. I think as soon as if you release a really catchy, awesome song, if people find out that it's AI, I think they're gonna categorize it over here, and they're gonna go, okay, cool, because I, the language thing is getting a lot better than it was, and I don't know if AI will actually. I'm sure at some point they'll actually really be able to like capture like some kind of human emotion thing. We're not we're not there yet. It's still kind of weird, but I think if they do that, I think we might be in a little bit of trouble. But I think as soon as somebody finds out that it's AI, I think they go, oh, okay, well, obviously it's going to be good because it was made perfectly. So
People are always going to want live music, though, so I'm not afraid of that.
people are always going to want live music. And also, if somebody came out with a song and I checked it out, as soon as I found out that it wasn't man made, I would go, all right. Like I would throw it away. So, but that's me.
Unfortunately, I think that's musicians, though. I think the majority of people don't care because people listen to the Bieber AI song. They listen to a bunch of stuff.
right. And that's what worries me.
So it's going to cause a problem. But if you can perform live, you're good. You're good. And we do that well, so I don't worry about it.
Until they bring out holograms and then they put AI music behind it.
Hey, that Tupac one was pretty solid a few years ago.
That's right. Then there. What are you doing at that point? I mean, just sit at home in VR. Like I don't even know.
People didn't like it. People didn't like it.
A record label could literally just produce an AI band or an AI artist, where it's like an AI generated artist of a band, an AI generated song, an AI generated hologram performance. It's like, I mean, yeah,
That would be an NFT. That would be like a physical almost NFT.
Yeah, people don't care though. It's like there's only a few people that follow that. They're like the guys who follow those AI girls like on Instagram. It's like, yeah, okay, I'll let 20 weird guys do that.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's beautiful. I'm glad that you brought that up because yeah, that's there's going to be your small niche of people that are like, "Oh, AI girl." But like the rest of us are like, "All right, well, we we don't like that."
We want to know we in our minds we have a chance with that real woman.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
Yeah.
I've talked with a lot of bands about AI, and the thing with AI is they could only copy what's came before. They can't create something new like we can.
Right. Which is also scary because we're left to throwing silverware on the ground to make sound effects. Like I don't know what's left. What else?
Yeah, unfortunately everything's been done. So what they can pull from is everything.
We're gonna have to like record sounds from space and then put a beat to it, and that's where we're headed now.
What do you guys got planned for the fall and winter?
We have a release coming up. We did a Christmas song that is going to come out. That's going to be pretty sweet. That I'm very proud of. Um, we have shows, and then we're working on tours for next year as well. And a couple more releases. We're also working on our conceptual EP that I'm super excited about.
Okay. Where can we get a hold of you? Facebook, Instagram?
You can find us at iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Pandora, Amazon, whatever you got. If you just Google our name, we'll pop up. You can call your mom and ask. She might not know, but I'm sure she'll know somebody that knows.
and you can follow us on all the social media outlets too. I mean, all of the whether it's Facebook, Instagram,
Facebook, Instagram. Oh, I should have one for that too. TikTok. Yeah, follow us on TikTok. That's the only thing that matters. That's the only platform that matters.
You guys gonna show off some of your dancing moves on there?
That's right. We're really skilled dancers at the dance parties.
Yeah, it's primarily what we do.
yeah.
Yeah, that's band practice is Thursday. Dance practice is Friday, and then Saturday we donate to animal shelters.
Okay. That's all the questions I have. Thanks for coming on the show today. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Be respectful and be aware of yourselves. Self love is important. Self awareness is more important.
Spay and neuter your pets.
Thanks, Scott.
Andrew, you got anything?
No, no. Just Instagram Morning in May OH as in Ohio if you want Instagram, and everything else is just Morning in May.